Sorry, do you have the speakers list?
I have. I'll show you.
It's on. Finally.
James. Yes.
Take another 5 minutes 你不要再进来了，因为我那边要 fire 了。Then you ask me why is there one handsome uncle in front of the camera lens? Hey.
I tell you what, this is what a party was.
这个时间是晚来的，所以是现在他们是No, this is the only one. Yeah, everybody can fly. Even AFC can fly. Yeah, this is the two. The structure is没有用啊，那个我其他都没有办法跟你用，你先自动老师还以为我聊呢。It was just an talk of the only the actual morning of the I did for one, but I'm still working on it. Since NS there, I put out maybe all the way until now, except the year when I was the other year. So yeah, I did sales and then after that, open it. 那边，哎，这边也可以，这边也可以。我朋友叫我講背頂，我哋買礦嗰啲台灣人，你冇嚟上咩？我你乜收咗？我哋點乜收翻咗喎？你朋友？
Somewhere lower, okay? Where you want to face? Just like this. Face there. Yeah, I can see that.
A very good evening to viewers of Happy TV. This is Darius from Happy TV signing in at the sports field that is bounded by Stadium Drive and Stadium Boulevard, just right opposite OCBC Arena. This is where the Singapore People's Party, the SPP, will be having their rally tonight here for the Mountbatten SMC constituency. So Mountbatten SMC will see a total of 24,143 eligible voters for the general elections this year, and the party has fielded a total of 8 candidates for the general elections this year, and under the Mountbatten SMC, it will be SPP's Miss Janette Chong Arudos pitting against the incumbent candidate from PAP, Mr. Lim Bell Chuan. So we'll be expecting Miss Chong to be giving her speech later here, right behind me, as well as Mr. Chiam Si Tong, who is the longest serving opposition member of parliament right here from 1984 to 2011. In a post on Facebook by SPP, it said that Mr. Chiam as well as Ms. Chong will be giving their speeches later. And we will also be expecting a couple of other candidates to be giving their speeches. Some of them may be from the five-member Bishan Toa Payoh GRC candidate led by former Secretary General of the Democratic Progressive Party, Benjamin Pua, together with former civil servant Brian Long. These two candidates are co-leading the SPP team to compete in the Bishan Toa Payoh GRC for the general elections this year. This is the third rally for SPP since Friday, and they have been holding their rallies at Bishan Toa Payoh GRC as well as for the Hong Kong North GRC, SMC, I'm sorry. So please stay tuned with us, and it's just a couple of minutes to 7 p.m. Right now the crowd seems to be a little are still starting to stream in, and and everyone is waiting for the rally to start. So do stay tuned with us, and we'll be expecting the rally to start in a couple of minutes' time.
For the past 3 days, I did saw green means yeah, green, then like light green, yellow, and orange.
No, oh yeah.
Yesterday was Reform Party. Clement Freedom. And then one was and my first one was Employment Freedom for Singaporeans. All positions. Okay lah, just like better one.
Either sell or give, I don't know. I think we need to give the smoke. Because selling is there, merchandise is there. It's a bad mistake. Because they only 3%, so they join in 10. We have about 6 or 5 days. That's why you already have a last 2 days. Someone 弄到地底下面，你知道啊？那知道。即係我
Oh, the audio and the so it's like
Hello.
Brother.
I take over my area. I take over my own area. So stand in my own area.
And by that.
Good evening, my dear fellow citizens, friends, and maybe visitors from elsewhere. Welcome to tonight's rally. But I'm sure you'll be patient and wait for some lagging fellow citizens who might like to hear the speakers. So we'll wait about 5 more minutes at least, if you don't mind. Thank you very much. 各位朋友，谢谢你们来今晚这个演讲和这个群众大会。我们耐心一点好吗？等那些迟到的朋友，大概多5分钟我们就开始。谢谢。I must say, you are a very supportive crowd. Announcement also clap. Thank you very much. Now, good news for the early comers. There's free popcorn, candy floss, and old school biscuits at the side to the right of the stage if you face the stage. So help yourselves. 找到的找到的鸟儿先吃虫啊！这边有一些甜品啊，大家可以去分享。Drinks, sorry, you have to self-supply. 饮料自备。
下来啊，亲自到场，亲自到场。Yes, please。真的，我讲中文，我不中文，no famous。 那个拍的，他妈你都不用看多了。Rather when you coming in to my room than through my room. Maybe that's my kitchen one for like first half of the year, after this for 就快一点来了。Every day stay home, stay 茶食茶。
So mine is like on the website, live blog. So like but for the writing, I think it's close to my you have the list? Yeah.
Citizen, welcome. 介绍Chong荣耀光先生。第二，请大家欢迎 Mr. Muhammad Abdillah Zamzuri. Let's welcome Muhammad Abdillah Zamzuri. Next, we have Mr. Ravi Philemon. Ravi 先生。 接下来，陈崇明系朱正熙先生。很重要的一个人 ，a very important person, Mr. James Martin Arudos. Remember his surname, Mr. Arudos. Last but not least, Janette Chong Arudos. 张元荣。We have not a very big crowd, but I think we have very big hearts to come together tonight to listen to this rally. So I ask you all to put your hands together once again to welcome all these friends and candidates. Thank you, and we will have more speakers later on in the evening. 各位，真的谢谢你来到今晚这一个群众大会，我们非常感激有这些朋友和参选的新加坡人民抬头出来为正义施展。So let us now welcome our first speaker, Mr. Brian Long. 第一位演讲者龙耀光先生。
Thank you so much, Mountbatten. I'm glad to be here. My name is Brian Long, and I'm one of the SPP candidates contesting Bishan Toa Payoh GRC. I'm here at the invitation of Janette. I'm here to support her because she's your candidate for Mountbatten SMC. Now, I shared this story yesterday at the Hong Kong North rally, and I will share it again today. So on Friday, the Bishan Toa Payoh team, we had our first rally at the Toa Payoh Stadium. Now, near the end of our rally, Mr. Chong joined our rally, and he came and he went on stage, he stood up, and he spoke for 7 minutes. Now, Mr. Cham's voice is weak, he spoke slowly. And a reporter asked me after that, he asked me what did I think of Mr. Cham's speech. He said, a large part of his speech, we can't really hear it, And do you really think it's useful to have him up there on stage? I told him, sir, Mr. Chum has spoken enough in the 27 years that he has spoken in Parliament as an opposition MP. What was clear tonight was that the people on the ground, they connected with Mr. Chum. He didn't need to use words. He didn't need to show up and shout big slogans. All that he needed to do was share his presence, his spirit, enough to convey his passion and his love for Singaporeans. Friends, you see, this is what connects all of us candidates on SPP. We connect with Mr. Chow's passion to be the people's candidate, to be the people's politician, to speak up for the people of Singapore even when the truth irritate the PAP government, to stand up for Singaporeans courageously and yet be constructive in our approach. Now I know some people may wonder, why are you mentioning Mr. Chow so many times? It is important for us to do that because Mr. Chow is not running as a candidate in this election, and the people of Potong Pasir, Mountbatten, Hong Kong North, and Bishan Toa Payoh must know that the candidates chosen to stand share the same values as Mr. Cham Si Tong. So let me share just three values that we share with Mr. Cham tonight. 1, we are respectful of our opponents. Now we can be very outspoken about the deficiencies of our opponents' policies and actions, but we still respect them. Mr. Cham had many battles with Mr. Lee Kuan Yew in Parliament, but yet they both held a deep respect for each other. In fact, Mr. Cham said of Mr. Lee Kuan Yew when Mr. Lee passed away this year, many times in Parliament, one of which in the earlier days was to abolish the graduate mother scheme, which the government eventually did. Janette, she's just like that. She has spoken up on income inequality. She held press conferences together with me and Ravi to share policy changes to the CPF, the population white paper, and transportation, among others. All these she has done in the past few years, even though she is not a member of parliament. She wasn't on the sideline just criticizing. She wasn't just on the sideline poking holes at the government's policies. She thought through the issues. She came up with responses that were measured, responses that were rational, and responses that were helpful. If you look at Janette's manifesto for Mountbatten, she said that she wants to close the gap between good government policies and their implementation. In the same way, we don't give up in SPP even if we fail. Mr. Trump took 4 elections before he finally won Potong Pasir in the 1984 elections. This is Janette's second time back in Mountbatten. Let's hope it doesn't take her 4 times. She could have jumped ship and joined us at Bishan Toa Payoh, GRC, as a team, like how some other PAP politicians did, right, after they lose an SMC. But she didn't. She knew the people in Mountbatten well, and she knew them too well. She couldn't bear to leave when she knew the Mountbatten residents needed someone who will have more time, more heart to serve them. People told her it's a difficult fight, but she said that Mountbatten is too special to her and she feels a strong connection to the residents. You see, people of Mountbatten, I believe who Mr. Trump is to Potong Pasir, Janette is to Mountbatten. She will bring back the heart and soul to Mountbatten. She wants to keep and preserve the part of Dakota Crescent that makes Mountbatten special. She wants to make sure the food stalls that define old airport hawker center can continue to stay in Mountbatten by keeping rental costs low and under control. This isn't something that you find the PAP doing. They want to build more pretty new things, but in return, sacrifice the heart, the soul, and the memories that make Mountbatten special. People of Mountbatten, I urge you, vote for Janette. Voters in Potong Pasir, Hong Kong, North Bishan, Toa Payoh, vote for SPP. Keep Mr. Chang's fire going. Thank you very much.
I didn't say who Brian Long is or was in the past. He's a technopreneur and a former government scholar. He speaks for himself. To me, he spoke absolute sense. So, people of Bishan Toa Payoh GRC, remember SPP. Next, I can't say a few words in Bahasa Melayu except Selamat malam, saudara-saudari, kawan-kawan. Sila dengar apa kawan saya Muhammad Abdillah Zamzuri mau cakap. Sorry if I'm spoken in broken Malay. 各位，现在我们有请 Abdillah Zamzuri。哇，很 powerful 的名字。请这位先生来跟我们讲几句话。Let's invite Mr. Muhammad Abdullah Zamzuri.
Thank you. So for residents of Mountbatten, a very good evening to you. Today, unfortunately, I will not be speaking in English. I'll be speaking in Malay tonight. For residents of Mountbatten who cannot understand Malay, I'm sorry. Oh, hello, yes. Okay, boleh cakap Melayu. So first and foremost, let me just try to greet everyone in whatever language I can. I already done that in Malay. Let me just do that in Chinese. 大家你们好。好，很好。吃饭了没有？吃饭很好。对不起，我的华语我可以讲一点点而已。很好，谢谢。 Terima kasih. Para penduduk Mountbatten, apa khabar malam ini? Baik, terima kasih. Dan pada malam ini saya ingin berbual sedikit tentang kepimpinan, tentang leadership. Kepimpinan, kalau di sekolah-sekolah MOE dan juga di Balai Rakyat, di People's Association, saya sebagai seorang yang mengajar di sekolah dan saya juga sebagai seorang sukarelawan di Balai Rakyat. Kami mengikuti kursus kalau di Balai Rakyat. Mereka menghantar kami ke kursus, dan kursus ini tentang kursus kepimpinan. Dan kursus kepimpinan mereka hantar kami untuk belajar tentang cara menjadi seorang pemimpin. Dan dalam cara menjadi seorang pemimpin, mereka mengikuti sebuah model kepimpinan yang dipanggil KNP model, lebih dikenali sebagai Houses and Posner Leadership Challenge. Dalam model kepimpinan KNP ataupun Houses and Posner, model yang pertama yang dikatakan ialah model the way, ataupun mungkin kalau saya mudahkan dalam bahasa Melayu, ialah cara anda membawa diri anda. Dan apabila kita berbincang ataupun bercakap tentang cara awak membawa diri awak itu, ia berkenaan tentang your behavior, tentang cara awak mengetengahkan diri awak kepada orang lain, cara awak beramah mesra dengan orang lain. Dan tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, saya rasa dalam seminggu yang lepas, semenjak kempen dimulakan, kami dapat lihat cara pemimpin PAP membawa diri mereka. Dan apa yang mereka lakukan? Yang pertama sekali, kita dapat lihat mereka mencuba menundukkan bukan sahaja para penduduk ataupun para pengundi Singapura, malah mereka cuba menundukkan para pesaing mereka. Dan bukan itu sahaja, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan. Baru-baru ini, salah seorang daripada menteri dari yang datang daripada PAP, mereka telah menundukkan pemimpin kejilanan kami, iaitu pemimpin-pemimpin dari negara Malaysia. Tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, saya rasa sebagai seorang pemimpin, mereka harus lebih berwibawa tinggi, tidak haruslah mengambil cara sebegini untuk menundukkan bukan sahaja para penduduk, bukan sahaja para pesaing, malah menteri-menteri kejilanan, negeri-negeri kejilanan kami. Kerana apa yang penting tentang cara kita membawa diri kita ataupun behavior, inilah yang akan membawa kita lebih rapat kepada para penduduk, para pengundi, dan juga membawa kami lebih rapat kepada para menteri-menteri pemimpin di negara-negara kejilanan kami. Dan saya rasa apa yang dilakukan oleh para pemimpin PAP ini tidak harus kami biarkan. Ialah seorang yang mungkin menunjukkan yang beliau boleh membawa diri beliau lebih baik daripada para pemimpin PAP. Tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, saya belum pernah dengar sekalipun di akhbar Puan Janette menundukkan People's Association. We go through a certain kind of a leadership training. And the leadership training that we take on is called the Houses and Posner Leadership Challenge. And in this Houses and Posner Leadership Challenge, the first model that they put up is about modeling the way. And in regards to modeling the way, they talk about behavior of the leader itself. So in talking about the behavior of the leader itself, I was just mentioning earlier in Malay, is that over the past few days, or rather the week since the election began, we have seen how the PAP leaders try to bring down their opponents. They have tried to bring down even the voters themselves, and most recently, they tried to bring down the leaders of our neighboring countries. So I think the first model, the first step of the leadership model, the PAP has already failed. And in this entire time of the campaign, or throughout the entire 4 years since Janette last stood for elections, there has never been a time where I heard Janette try to bring down any of her opponents. Never for once. And I think that makes her a better leader than any of the PAP leaders that we have here today. Now the next thing that I'm going to go to, okay, let me just switch to Malay again first. Okay, soal yang kedua yang ingin saya ketengahkan ialah saya ingin merujuk, reaching out kepada para pengundi muda, first time voters. Pada tahun 2006 saya juga adalah pengundi. Pertama kali saya dapat mengundi pada tahun 2006. Dan pada tahun 2006 itu saya adalah sebagai seorang pegawai polis, memakai baju biru, berdiri di kalangan kawasan rally juga, melihat para petanding di atas pentas bertanding, berbual. Dan pada tahun 2006 itulah saya perlu memikirkan apakah ciri-ciri yang saya inginkan dalam seorang anggota parlimen. Apakah yang saya perlu tahu sebelum saya memberikan cross di dalam kertas mengundi. 3 soalan yang perlu ditanya. Yang pertama, mengapakah saya sebagai seorang pengundi harus mengundi sesiapa yang ingin bertanding? Itu yang pertama. Soalan yang kedua, apakah yang boleh dilakukan oleh anggota parlimen, ataupun apakah yang boleh dilakukan oleh seseorang yang berdiri di atas pentas ini yang ingin bertanding, apakah yang dia boleh buat untuk saya sebagai seorang pengundi? Dan yang ketiga sekali, apakah yang saya ingin lihat tukar di dalam negara Singapura ini? Dan apabila kita cakap tentang pertukaran, kami bercakap tentang pertukaran yang positif. Now in English. So I was just saying, in 2006, it was the first time that I was voting. At that point of time, I was dressed in blue, just like the police officers over here. And I was positioned in a rally where SDP was having their rally. So ladies and gentlemen, let's just take a short time. Can we just give the officers a round of applause first tonight? Can I also request for all of you not to give them any trouble? So as a first-time voter, I had 3 questions on my mind. The first question, why should I as a voter vote for you? The one who is standing on stage. In this case for you guys, it's Janette. The second question, as a first-time voter, then I had to ask myself, what can this person do for me? And the third one, the last question to ask is, what kind of positive change do I want to see happen? Not just in your constituency, but in Singapore as well. Now, ladies and gentlemen, these are 3 heavy questions that you need to ask, that you need to question. I am not going to give you the answer, because the answer will come tonight on this stage as you listen to the rest of the speakers here tonight. Jadi jawapan kepada 3 soalan ini saya tidak akan berikan kepada anda pada malam ini, kerana jawapannya akan datang daripada atas pentas ini oleh para pemidato kami nanti. Tapi tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, saya percaya Puan Janette apabila menjadi anggota parlimen anda akan dapat membuat banyak pertukaran yang positif kepada Mountbatten. Saya percaya Janette adalah seorang yang berwibawa. Kalau tidak, beliau tidak akan ingin bertanding lagi, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan. Oleh itu, saya ingin meminta anda semua untuk menyokong dan memberikan undi anda kepada Janette. Undi Janette, undi SPP, suara anda di parlimen. I have no doubt that Janette is the best person for Mountbatten. She has been here the past 4 years. If she wasn't good enough, she wouldn't want to stand here again, ladies and gentlemen, because her heart is in Mountbatten, which is why she is standing for you once again, to be your voice in Parliament. So ladies and gentlemen, give her your vote. Vote for Janette. Vote for SPP. Your voice in Parliament. Thank you.
Abdillah Zamzuri said something that struck a chord in me. He said Janette respects her opponents. So let me tell you a little episode that happened behind the stage before we started this evening. I can't remember what we were talking about, but she mentioned the name of her opponent, and in front of that name, she said, Mr. Lim Biao Chuan. What? It caught my attention. In private, you don't have to say Mr. Lim Biao Chuan so politely, do you? She did. And to me, that reflects real respect. So, Zamzuri did not lie. He did not lie, neither did Brian earlier on, when they say that you must choose Janette, who represents courtesy, kindness, and true care. And you can see later on, when you have time, when you filter out, there are all these posters on the right of the stage, when you face the stage, which shows the parts of Dakota, the parts of memorable Mountbatten that she will fight to keep for you, and not be crushed and demolished, so that your memories can be retained. So next, we invite another very gentle and polite person that I know, Ravi Philemon, to share his thoughts with you. 现在我们请 Ravi 来跟我们分享。
Good morning, Mountbatten. Work so hard until don't know it's day or night. Sorry. Watch your how, Mountbatten! This September 11, when you go to the polls, remember Miss Janette Chong Arudos. She is your candidate for Mountbatten SMC. This election is a very important election. Why? Because the government, the PAP government, keeps giving us mixed messages. At one time, the PAP government says, who needs the Mercedes-Benz S-Class when you have the Circle Line? And then, at another time, it says that the MRT is meant to provide the cheapest mode of transportation from point A to point B. So you must expect it to be crowded. So which is which? They have been sending mixed messages. And they said that if you want more comfort, then you should take the premium buses. And if you want even more comfort than that, then you should buy a car. What is the COE for cars today? And if you want even more comfort than that, then you should get a chopper. How many of you can afford a chopper? Maybe if you are earning $1 million or $2 million like our ministers do, probably you can afford a chopper. Am I right? Yes! This government, this PAP government has forgotten how the ordinary Singaporean lives.
Yeah! Yeah, lion!
Yeah! And we need to remind them with our votes that they need to work for the ordinary Singaporean.
Yeah!
This is what the election is about.
Yeah!
And when you cast your vote for Janette Chong Arudos, this is what you're saying to the PAP government. Don't forget the ordinary Singaporean.
Yeah!
Today, if you're 40 years old, you're considered to be old. It's true. You're 40 years old, you're considered to be old. You can be middle-aged, you can be highly trained, but if you lose your job, that's it. You may be able to find another job, but it may not pay you as well as the previous job paid you. You may not have the same position that you had in the previous job. Why do our middle-aged people have to go through this? There says it's because of foreigners. Yes. Yes. The tap has been turned on and the water is flowing and flowing and is flooding your house. What do you do when the water from the tap is flowing and flowing and flowing and flooding the house? What do you do? How? Yeah, you go out of the house and turn off the tap. And that is what you're going to do when you cast your vote for Miss Janette. You are turning off the tap to the immigration policy. The government keeps telling you, everything is okay. Everything is okay. Don't worry. We know what we are doing. You know, I am a movie buff. Sometimes I get my inspiration from movies. And I watch some of these action disaster movies and I see the leaders of the country when the tsunami is coming. Don't worry, everything is calm, you settle down. But they have prepared their helicopters and aeroplanes to fly away just when the tsunami comes. This government, this PAP government must remember ordinary Singaporeans. If you're young, if you're below 30 years old, and if you have a university degree, it becomes that much more difficult for you to get a job. There are friends of my daughter who recently graduated from university. She's one of the more fortunate ones. She found a job immediately after graduating. But some of her friends, they are still interning, doing part-timers, and freelancing. And when this is brought up, the PAP government says that the young people need a mind shift. They tell us the young people can be construction workers. They tell us our young people can be hawkers. They tell us that our young people don't need to get degrees. But they are giving scholarship to foreigners. So you know what will happen if our children... I think this is the only government in the world which tells its citizens don't study so much. Am I right? Which government in the world will tell its people don't study so much? So, if you don't study so much, and you bring in foreigners who are highly skilled and who have degrees and have studied well, you know what will happen in the future? Our children will become the servants of foreigners. Is that what you want? No! Turn off the tap! Close the gap!
We are going to close all the tap for them!
And the government will tell you, the PAP government will tell you that if you vote for opposition, Lulian Bobaucha. Don't worry! Janette knows where the best durians are. When my wife wants... Janette and I are close friends. We are close family friends. When my wife wants durians, she tells me, ask Janette to choose the best durians for you. She knows where you can get the best durians and have the best durian parties. So if the PAP tells you, Lulian Bob out here, don't worry, Janette will get the G24 durian for you. So vote for this Janette Chong Arudolf with confidence. She will be your voice in Parliament and she will take care of your town council. Thank you very much.
I love durians. I'm so glad I'm Janette's friend. Before we carry on with the next speaker, can we invite on stage Mr. Benjamin Pua? Benjamin, come on. He will speak to us later. Now, we have Dr. Chun Ming. Who is he? Heard of him? Read of him? I did. He is a medical doctor. He is not a candidate. So why does he bother to come and speak to all of us? There must be something in his heart. Right? There's something he can't keep and he wants to share with us. So 现在让我们请陈崇明医生对我们讲几句话。
Good evening, fellow Singaporeans. Actually, I'd like to address you as the sons and daughters of Singapore. You know why? Because we are all actually one family. And yet at the worst time of our worst time when we fight is during an election. And that is bad. I'd like to tell you something about myself and why I'm here. I'm a medical doctor for 30 years. I run a GP clinic. I think some of my patients are here. They told me they'll be here. I also invent things in the afternoon. I invent medical devices. And they are used for all over the country, all over the world. So why am I trying to come up here and tell you something? From a different perspective. I'm a concerned citizen. I'm non-partisan. I haven't joined SPP yet, or Workers' Party, or anyone, but I'm a friend to all of them, because I'm a concerned citizen. So tonight I'm going to talk to you as a concerned citizen, like many of you sitting there. What am I so concerned about? I do what I do best, which is doctoring, medical doctor. When you see a patient, when I see a patient, I will look at the symptoms, the signs, whether you have a fever, whether you're coughing, or worse, whether you are breathless, whether you're going to get pneumonia. And from the signs and symptoms, we make a diagnosis of what is wrong with the patient. Now I'm going to tell you the symptoms that I see in Singapore. Number one, our suicide rate is going up. Do you know? Every day more than one person commits suicide. And there are two, what we call the high-risk group. One are children below 16. You won't believe it, but not long ago, if you read the papers, a 16-year-old jumped off from the 12th story. Why? Because she's supposed to be a straight A student, but during her O-level, she got all distinction except 2B. Cannot accept. Jump. 3 months later, her mother jumped. Now the father is mentally unstable, and the grandmother came up to tell us this story. A few months before her, a 12-year-old jumped off a 5-story HDB and died. And in her suicide note, she wrote, and she told the maid, when I reincarnate, I don't want to be a human, because
I don't want to do any more homework. What have we become? The third symptom that we see is when you see crime rates going up. And our crime rates are going up in the latest report, which is a couple of weeks ago. Our admission to Woodbridge has gone up by 40%. If you do not know about it, how come so many people are getting stressed and getting mad? You remember our CPIP director, who is supposed to be well in charge of anti-corruption, is charged for bribery, charged for corruption. Our CDF commissioner also charged for bribery. Our CMB director. So what is going on? From a doctor's point of view, Singapore is very sick. It's very sick. But many of us don't realize that, when we see patient and when you tell the patient, hey friend, you've got hypertension, you've got high blood pressure, you have to take medicine, otherwise you're going to get a stroke. 50% will tell you, no leh, doctor, I don't feel anything leh. Never mind, don't take medicine first. You will find that one day they will be found dead or have a stroke. And this is our problem in Singapore. When I come out as doctor and all the opposition parties are coming out to tell you that Singapore is sick, we've got to do something about it, PAP will ignore it and say, no, we are doing fine. Now, what is wrong with our system? Basically, our sickness is one. We have lost the soul of the human soul in Singapore. We have lost that soul. At what expense? If you look at those symptoms, all came about because number one, we are chasing after paper qualification. We're chasing after grades. Can you imagine your kids at 12 years old having to think of a suicide? I'm not joking because the statistics have shown 1 in 3 children below 12 has thought about suicide. 1 in 3. That's our children. The other problem is that the whole country is caught up with money. Wealth, money. Money is a measure of success. And that is disastrous. So because you look at GDP, you look at everything else, and you look at everything else but family and the soul. And that's sad. Now I'm going to talk to you a little bit about my own feeling as a so-called concerned citizen, how I look at PAP candidates and opposition candidates. There is a very simple, fundamental difference. And the difference is why they joined the party. PAP, Ng Hian last night said, we screen 300 to 400 people every year. What does it mean? People are shortlisted. People are targeted. Then you are invited to have tea. You are invited to meet some important people. Then you are told, hey look, you are doing well. You should be giving back to the society. You should be thinking about it because we can make you minister. Some of you are minister caliber. Not sure. We give you $1 million a year. Not enough. Okay, quite a lot sign up. So you see 300-400 people a year. The starting point is already wrong. Look at the opposition party. They have nothing to gain. In fact, they have everything against us. It's against all odds. Not just for me standing up. I think for most of opposition standing up, the first thing you have is a dossier open up for you in ISD. Yeah, you forgot. Long time ago, when Chum Sitong was elected, the first thing, or rather during the election campaign, old man said, he's only an O-level. His O-level not good, not enough distinction. Many of you may not remember, but those are my time. He actually said it in Parliament. Cham Si Tong's O-level is not good enough compared to my graduates. You may also be sued by Chun, Jeyaratnam. You may even be jailed. You'll be made bankrupt. So it's actually all the odds are stacked against us being an opposition. But why do we stand up, or why do they stand up against all odds? Why do they stand up and be exposed and victimized sometimes? It's because they believe in the calling inside to tell them, you must do something and right the wrong for Singapore. This is something you cannot buy. And this is something I find in Janette. Let us not lose our soul. I will tell you what is wrong with PAP. For me, as a concerned citizen, the biggest problem with PAP is that they have mixed up and blurred the line between party and government. They think that the party is government and the government is party. How do I know? You look at the manifesto of PAP. What does it end with? Majura Singapura. Majura PAP. What nonsense can it be? You mean the Majura or going forward cannot be done because PAP is not there? Imagine if SPP said that. Took the national anthem and said, Majura Singapore, Majura SPP. Tomorrow, you are in trouble. But not PAP because the line has been blurred between the government and the party. If you don't vote for me, you will have no bus interchange, you have no this, you have no that. We heard it last night. Yeah. So, that's the biggest problem with PAP. And what is the biggest failure for me in PAP? PAP has lost our trust. He has lost my trust. He has lost a lot of us our trust because they are arrogant. They are so arrogant that they think you are coming here because you are going after meat thrown after by the opposition. That is very insulting. Now, when you look at the future and you look at the way the manifestos have been said or have been shared, you look at every interview with the PAP members, it will be, I'm going to do my part, I'm going to do this, I'm going to keep my promise, I'm going to beautify your town, I'm going to improve your life. Hey, look, uncle, this one basic lah. Everyone who are elected must do one. Oh my God, yeah. Only basic, right? You expect me to elect you and you say, oh, sorry, I can't do. Hey, this is basic lah. Don't tell me what you can do because it's exactly what you should do. You're paid to do it. You're paid to do it. And you're doing a lousy job. So don't tell us what Mr. Lim Beltran can do to keep the drain clean and the bus come on time. Hey, basic, must do one. Okay, don't need to talk one. What you need to talk about is how do you bring back that kampong spirit now. Imagine if every one of you, instead of watching me, turn around to the left and right and say, hello, have a good evening. It will be different. Now, Mountbatten and Katong, this area is actually a very, very so-called kampong area where the souls of people collectively live. And this is something, unfortunately, only people with heart can do it. Not people with a head, but a heart. My last parting word is actually for the PAP. In the holy book, which many of them read, it says, what does it profit a man if he gains the whole world but loses his own soul? What does it profit a man? Nothing. So what does it profit a man if he gains the whole world and loses his own soul? So let's, for tonight and even for this election, we want to get back our soul for Singapore. And to do that, you can do two things. One, you must vote Janette in for SPP. Two, if you have time, you come and hug me.
I hope to represent all of you out there who wanted to help Dr. Singh, but there are these big yellow barricades preventing you from doing that. So never mind. You have heard voices of reason, calmness, really serious thoughts. I'm old enough to have heard candidates from 5-6 elections back. You never talk like all these people. They'll be shouting, screaming, and frankly, talking nonsense. But tonight, I have yet to hear a single nonsensical word. I have yet to find any statement that I have to disagree with. I hope it's the same for you. May I know, is there anyone in the audience who needs to be explained to in Cantonese or in Mandarin? Anyone? Nobody, as I had guessed. Because I think those who come, though not large in numbers, really want to come and hear voices of reason. So now, let's hear from the next reasonable voice, a young lawyer, Choo Cheng Si. 现在请朱正熙来跟我们谈谈。
My fellow Singaporeans and voters of Mountbatten, welcome to Battlefield Mountbatten. In 2011, Janette stood for her first election and she got 41% of the vote. She was 3,000 votes off, my friends. But she wasn't daunted. Over the last 4 years, she's come back, and the only thing on her mind has been closing that gap. I'm one of Janette's campaign volunteers. I'm a 30-year-old lawyer in litigation. Litigation means I fight other people's battles for a living. So you really need to trust me when I say, I know a fighter when I see one. And Janette's a fighter. Dr. Singh talked about speaking from the heart. Lawyers were very logical people. We're very used to speaking purely from the head. But tonight, with his good example, I'll make an exception. I'll speak both from the head, but also with my heart. In appealing to your head, I will explain why the policies and the politics Janette stands for deserves your vote. And in speaking from my heart, I will give you my personal reason why Janette has inspired me enough to put my professional life on hold and join her on the campaign trail. There are 3 reasons I'm here today, and there are 3 reasons why I ask you to vote for her. The first, and these 3 reasons, they can be summarized with 3 P's. The first P is this: Parliament. We go to the polls on the 11th of September to elect a member of Parliament. What is the role and the primary function of a member of Parliament? A good place to start is the website of Parliament. It says the function of parliaments includes making laws, controlling the state's finances, and taking up a critical role to check on the actions of the governing party and ministries. I believe that if you elect Janette on the 11th of September, she will fulfill that primary function of a member of parliament. She will be a check on the government of the day. I'll give you an example. Recently, the Auditor General's report was published and highlighted a series of lapses in government ministries and the People's Association. Not many of us might have heard of it because most of media time and most of press time was spent debating municipal policy in Aljunied, Hougang and Punggol East. We were blinded to a national issue of accountability staring us in the face. And these weren't small numbers. We start with the People's Association and the lapses the Auditor General found. The People's Association budget this year is $1 billion. $1 billion. The Auditor General, in a test audit, found that 35 CCMCs in the People's Association had not given proper approvals for rentals of premises amounting to $17.78 million. And my friends, this was a test audit. The question we need to ask is this the tip of the iceberg? Now, let me ask you this. Do you expect a PAP backbencher to ask these questions? The person who filed an adjournment motion to have this issue debated, this issue of national importance, was Mrs. Lina Chiam from the Singapore People's Party. At a time when the entire country seemed to be obsessed with Aljunied, Hougang and Punggol East, where would we have been if Mrs. Chiam hadn't been in Parliament carrying the SPP banner and asking those tough questions? If you were an alien and you had just come to Singapore and you were looking at our general election coverage, you wouldn't think we are having a general election. You would think we're having a referendum or a by-election for Aljunied, Hougang and Punggol East. The second thing the alien would think is that all of these people running for office are auditioning for the role of estate manager. I've got news for you. Generally, the functions of an estate manager in a constituency are carried out by an estate manager, not a member of parliament. The primary function of a member of parliament is to hold the government to account. So it's not a surprise that you look around the constituency and you see the Prime Minister's face on lots of banners. He is the leader of Mr. Lim's party. You would, I hope, not be confused and think that Mr. Lee were running in Mountbatten. But it really drives home the point that Mr. Lee Hsien Loong is who the members of the People's Action Party answer to. We need an independent, considered, rational opposition voice to check the PAP. Please don't get me wrong. For those of you who live in Mountbatten, and I've walked with Janette, in the estates of Kampong Arang, in one-room rental housing, the people of Mountbatten expect good management. But as Dr. Ting said, this must be the baseline. It is the least we must expect from our members of parliament. It is not the ceiling. Janette is someone, I believe, who has a heart for the community and can do good things on the ground too. This is a 40-page manifesto. If you live in Mountbatten, you might have received it in the post. Very few SMC candidates put the effort into constructing a detailed plan for the constituency. The Straits Times called this something that looked like a master plan for Mountbatten. And that's how seriously Janette takes this campaign. I hope you read the Mountbatten Manifesto. I hope you read what it says about conservation. I hope you read what it says about the estates in this constituency. And I hope you read about what she wants to do to provide for the residents of Mountbatten. These are plans that she has constructed over the years she's been walking the ground here. She is the person who will both keep the PAP in check and improve your lives. And I will personally attest, Janette's campaign is tireless in Mountbatten, fearless in Parliament. I've been on the campaign trail with her for last week. We wake up at 6:30, we wake up at 5:30, we get to the MRTs at 6:30, we end the day at 10:30. We've tried getting into condominium housing. We've had a bit of problems there, but we've tried to work around that as best as we can. Janette is really tireless. The rest of us, we're just tired. The second P, which is your reason to vote for Janette, is this. The type of politics she represents. Again, over the campaign period, you've seen the mudslinging, you've seen the stupid analogies about whether the rooster crows or the mice speaks, the lion roars, what does the fox say? For some people, old habits die hard. But let me tell you this. When the PAP was debating whether or not the rooster made the sun rise, Janette was unveiling the front page, on the front page of the Straits Times. She was talking about Mountbatten. She was talking about her manifesto for Mountbatten. She was talking about her plans for Mountbatten. While there were people on the campaign trail who were mudslinging, who were in the gutter, that's not where she was. She was talking about Mountbatten, Mountbatten, Mountbatten. We've seen legislators with that kind of stature. We've seen legislators of that kind of caliber before in Parliament. We've seen legislators with that kind of loyalty and love for the country before. And I'll share one with you. In February 1985, Mr. Chong, who was one of only 2 opposition members of Parliament in the House, took to the dispatch box, looked at the overwhelming numbers of stony PAP faces staring back at him. And he gave his first speech in Parliament. And in that speech, Mr. Chum said, I shall be a loyal opposition, loyal to the Constitution, loyal to the nation, but not loyal to the ruling party. My role in Parliament is to contribute to nation building. Nation building must not be the sole concern of the ruling party. The opposition is equally responsible in nation building. My friends and voters of Mountbatten, this is the politics of the SPP. This is the politics of Chiang Si-tong. And this is the politics of Janette, Chong, Arudos. Let me share the last P with you. The last P is personal. I know her, and I can attest to her character. You know, when I first got to know her, I asked her, Janette, why are you in opposition politics? Let me tell you a bit about her. Janette's a mother who successfully raised 4 children while building her legal practice. She's got a lot to be proud of, and she could easily retire. Her first son, Elliot, is 25. He's a lawyer in London, preparing to start practice. Her second son, Ellery, is 24. He was with us on the campaign trail until he went to London to start his Masters in Business Studies. Her daughter, Belle, she's here today, for those of you lucky enough to meet her. She's 24. She's just started her first job. Sorry, she's 22. And her youngest son, Evans, 17 years old. Her husband, James, on the stage, he's retired. He's retired. And Janette could be with him. So, one thing I asked her, and the thing that really puzzled me, look, you've got it all. What are you in this for? And so we spoke, and here's what she told me. I'm in it for them. To make Singapore a better place for my children to live in, and to give Elliot and Ellery a reason to return home. So, Elliot and Ellery, if you're watching this on live stream, I want you guys to know that if your mother wins, you're coming back to help her manage town council. But what struck me, in all seriousness, what struck me in that conversation with her was this. Janette, she's a tiger mom. She's raised this great family. And the amazing thing with Janette is this, she isn't done fighting yet. And this speaks to character. She's not someone who's going to stop fighting for what is right just because she's comfortable. And at the end of that conversation, I thought this to myself. If she has fought so hard for Belle, for Elliot, for Ellery, and for Evans, my friends, how much harder would she fight for Singapore? And so this is what inspired me to join her on this journey to win you over and try a second time. There are few politicians, very few, who have the ability to go beyond just managing a constituency and speak to reimagining our communities. There are very few politicians who politics needs more, there are very few politicians who need politics less than politics needs them. And there are even fewer politicians who have that rare ability to speak across demographies and generations to the hopes and aspirations of younger Singaporeans like me. Janette is one of those rare few. And that's why I'm proud to stand here before you today and ask you on the 11th of September, send this lady to Parliament!
see the words behind me? The second part, fearless in Parliament. Hokkien says what? I think this lady really You know why? I haven't even told you my name the whole evening. I scared a bit. My name is Chan Wai Han. I say this softly. I'm a grandma of 2. When I was asked to MC this evening, I thought twice. I came up here shuddering a little. My family said prayers for me first. All very scared for me. I'm not even running as a candidate. I'm only the MC. So you can imagine what all these people are doing. Those who are standing, whether here in Mountbatten, in Hong Kong North, in Bishan Toa Payoh GRC, and any other place where the opposition stands. I think all of them are heroes. May we clap them? And truly, I say, when SMC says about being a member of Parliament, have you ever watched televised parliamentary debates? I did. What do you see? Often, I see very empty seats. And you know on which side of the bench. How disappointed I was. You mean the salary, or don't call it salary, it's only an allowance given the parliamentarians. It's not enough for them. It's at least 2-3 times many of our salaries. They have to have, many directorships, many other positions. They keep them so busy that their parliamentary seats are so cold because there are no bums to warm them. So, send these men and women to Parliament. Let them speak up for us. So now we invite Benjamin Pua, Fang Yue Guang Xiansheng. Let him come and share his vision with us.
Good evening, everyone. How many people here know me? I can't hear you. I can hear you. Yes. Well done. Okay. So first, I'm going to do an advertisement. Most of you know that. All of you should know that Mr. Chump's going to come afterwards. You know that? Okay. If you don't know, he's coming. Okay. And one of the things that's been happening at every other rally at Bishan Toa Payoh, Hong Kong North, is that we have supporters who want to get his signature. And I'm going to tell you that on our booth somewhere there, we have a beautiful black and white souvenir photo book from last year's election that is available. And Mr. Chump's more than happy to sign this. And it's going to be a limited edition because after this election, we're going to come up with another photo book for GE2015. So those of you who do not have a copy yet, before Mr. Chum comes, you might want to send somebody beside you, nudge them, go there and get a copy for yourself. OK， 我现在要转台哈，因为今天很多人讲英语，然后我觉得应该转中文台跟大家说华语才行。其实他们也有一个要求我讲福建话，但是我係福建話過後了，講了你會聽哈。就會晒，但是廣東話可以嗎？廣東話得唔得？好嘢，好 OK。講廣東話得，咁我首先用廣東話講嘢先嚇 ，OK。咁首先多謝大家今日嚟到我哋今晚呢個會咧嚟捧場，咁就好多謝大家多年嘅支持嚇，知道你亦都知道Janette多年喺呢度花咗好多嘅時間，花咗好多嘅心思嚟去認識各位知道你嘅問題想聽到你嘅心聲。咁就想今晚鼓勵大家好好嘅思想，你今晚聽嘅呢位我哋叫母老虎母老虎
到底係邊個？咁頭先正司亦都講到，大家投一票係為着乜嘢咧？我想講清楚，你唔係為着新嘅泳池，唔係為着新嘅圖書館，更加唔係為着新嘅公園嚟去揀你嘅國會議員。你有咗個新嘅公園，想問呢度咁多人住喺呢度，邊個有時間去享受個公園咧？可能幾個伯伯婆婆有機會，年輕人咧個個讀緊書，我哋呢個年代咧個個做緊嘢，邊度有時間享受？咁你到底要嘅係一個國會議員俾你嘅係一啲我有時間咧就去享受下，哇上一次 GE 投 PAP 一票，咁就有咁樣咁靚嘅公園定係你想投一個國會議員一票嘅時候咧，佢係知道你嘅問題，帶住你關注嘅問題入到去國會幫你説話。我哋今天面對嘅問題係生活嘅問題我哋生活生活嘅成本又越嚟越升高啦，工作越嚟越多問題啦，越嚟越外國人係要同我哋搶飯碗啦。呢度有幾個老人家或者退休人士，我都想問一問你唔好淨係睇自己你自己首先第一攞唔攞到你嘅 CPF 先？攞唔到係啦，啱啦，咁攞唔到點咧？啱啱我尋日今日睇新聞咧，新聞出咗一條新嘅新嘅新聞條例，話而家大家到65歲嘅時候咧，聽清楚下，到65歲嘅時候咧，你可以政府話你可以再揀遲啲再攞錢出嚟喎，遲啲會唔係早啲喎？咁你話佢聽唔聽明白我哋嘅心聲咧？佢知唔知道我哋需要咧？我嘅媽咪今年72歲。大家都知道上個星期呢個星期大家都好忙啱啱上個星期三，我嘅72歲嘅媽咪咧 ，sorry 我有啲感動同我話佢眼睛睇唔到，去睇醫生，醫生話要開刀，咁就話眼睛後邊咧流緊血，咁就要去一個即係我哋叫 day surgery 入去1-2個鐘頭搞掂出嚟。咁我問佢要幾多錢？佢話扣晒全部啲 subsidies， 扣晒全部 pioneer generation 嘅東西之後，剩翻你仲要俾嘅係幾多錢？3000蚊。退休人士喎，退休人士72歲嘅老婆婆一生為着國家去賣命，而家眼睛有個問題仲係佢去政府醫院，唔係去私家醫院喎。動個手術3000蚊，我問我媽咪，哇，好貴喎！我媽咪老人家唔識嘢啦，佢話：唔係唔貴，你知唔知道政府包咗70%？咁70%再加30%幾多咧？我哋嘅生活費，我哋嘅健康，我哋嘅種種嘅成本繼續咁升嘅時候，我哋嘅情況又點啊？那我想转转台用中文用华语跟大家再沟通一下我知道大家好像一直在往后看 Mr. Chang 来了没有不用紧 Mr. Chang 还没有来，他来我会正式宣布的大家来专心听一下 OK 我想首先先强调，大家这一次你是选的是国会议员，你不是在选一个市政管理人员市政管理人员你的道路干不干净能够有没有清理，这个不是国会议员要做的事情。很可惜，太可惜，我们国家已经把国会议员的角色以市政管理为首，应该为首的，应该第一个是关注你的心声，你的问题。如果要做市政管理的话，好，来我们说一说，大家住了这个Mountbatten区很久，对不对？看到吗？哇，好漂亮周围都很漂亮。我问你一下，漂亮是什么呢？漂亮是先进，漂亮是发展，漂亮有没有我们Mountbatten的风格？漂亮有没有你在这里的脚迹？漂亮有没有你在这里的薪资？有没有你在这里以前历史的一些的怀念？在整个发展当中，政府继续的有一些新的市场出来了，新的设施出来了，新的公园啦，新的什么什么什么都好，他们要给你的是不是你要的东西？ 或者是他们要的是他们给你的是他们觉得你应该要的东西。国会议员主要的角色是知道你每天的问题。我们在碧山大巴窑过去4年，每一周每一个月都下去认识市民。这一次碧山大巴窑 BAP 说会把图书馆移到另外一个更好更漂亮的地方，给一个更大的图书馆。但是我们从市民上听到的是，碧山还有大巴窑2个区全部13万人全部加起来只有1个 polyclinic， 每一天去 polyclinic 等4个钟头。Mountbatten 这个区我不大认识 ，Janette 认识。他的5年计划书里边也把很多他对这个区的一些意向也写出来。我要你好好的去看，他拿着的那个5年计划的意向书里面有多少是真的为你着想的东西，然后你再想想看我们 BAP 说想要给你的东西能不能够满足到你每天关注的问题。最近这个老鼠的这个话题很多首先是布吉巴克的老鼠，但布吉巴克老鼠不懂是什么颜色是吧？灰色。白没有，布吉巴克的老鼠不是白色，
黑色，
对不对？但是呢，我们今天说的是白色的老鼠白色的老鼠很奇怪白色的老鼠很奇怪因为这个最近大家也知道有这么一个故事讲得出来白色的老鼠外面说很多话甚至在国会里面也说很多话，但是轮到投票的时候轮到有一个法律要通过的时候，大家静下来变成小老鼠。知不知道国会开了100多次，Mrs. Chang 说了发言发了几次吗？108次的国会会议，Mrs. Chang 发言发了83次。好，不知道大家知不知道Mr. 林彪川他发了多少次？1次之一没有意思那么糟糕了100多次的会议，Mr. 林彪川发言发了60次，少 Mr. Chang 少了1/3。那他60次发言，少 Mr. Chang 这么多次，我想问你，你有没有去听他发了言是不是你关注的东西？
没有。
我跟你讲很可惜，因为什么呢？新加坡人不听国会的国会开会先关掉转台看第8波道，你要听。林先生在国会里面开口跟你说话的时候，他说的是不是你要的东西？60次他说的话是不是你要的关注的问题，还是政府要的东西？那如果我们是可以在100多次会议里边开口说83次，那我问你，我们今天晚上的母老虎可以说几次呢？100次，100%把它送进国会。
好。
最后我想再强调一次我们反对党或者我们说替代党反对太过僵了，太过对立性了替代党的人员，我们个个都要是高素质的。以前 BAP 说高素质的人都在我们 BAP 里边，全部都是穿白色的。最近总理说新加坡马来西亚之间的2国关系有很多的危机中国还有中美关系大情况里边，我们新加坡将来有很多的问题所以你要投 BAP 进国会。我问你，全新加坡的精英只有在 BAP 里面，那这里做的不是精英吗？这里做的每一个都是精英，不在 BAP， 在 SPP。所以我希望大家睁开眼睛，不要再以为好事全部都是从 BAP 来，就讲可能 NTUC voucher 啦，什么 voucher 可能是从他们那里来不晓得听说是 BA 送的，对不起，要更新一下这里有很多电视机在录那国会议员，你投你那一票，他进入国会，他能够管你们的市政理事会的时候，国会议员资源哪里来呢？资源是从国家来，国家仓库来。如果一个 BAP MP 可以跟你说，你投我一票，我给你一个游泳池， 为什么一个反对党、替代党的 MP 说你要什么我给你，我只能够从我们自己的党的钱包里面给你呢？或者我能够给你的东西只限制在我们汤豪斯里面的钱呢？那 SPP、MND 全部国家政府各个部门的资源只能够透过 PAP、MB 才来吗？这个是我们的钱，你们的钱呢？
是人民的钱，
是人民的钱。
对，
人民的钱不应该政府跟党要分开，对不对？
对，
人民的钱政府来花，不是党来花，
对，
理解吗？
对。
所以希望大家真的是谨慎的考虑一下，不要为了BAP 送你很多很多的东西而觉得你投他们一票。
没有投他的啦，踢他出去啊！
不知道最近我们一直说什么老鼠啦、白老鼠啦、母老虎啦，我再提出一个比喻哦，不知道大家知不知道国会有门神你知道门神吗？你进大门的时候有一个门神你要拜一拜然后进去是。那我们一般在家里后面最后面的那道门还有一个什么神？
土地神，
还有一个厨房神。厨房神你给他吃很多很多好的东西吃，厨房你给他更多很好的东西，他就哇笑，你要做什么都可以了。我们今天不要做厨房神。BAP 给你的很甜的东西，你拿好好享受，不等于你需要投他一票。
对，
因为这一些东西都是我们自己的钱换回来的。
对，
知不知道？
对，
理解吗？
对。
所以大家今晚要听清楚，分析，用头脑想。陈基刚才说，我们今天晚上说的是头脑，还要说的是心。心跟头脑放在一起，你知道中国人我们华人我们没有说头脑的。我们说你要做个决定，你用什么来做决定？用心来做决定，心思，全部一切都是从心开始。所以我们今天带来的是 Janette 的心，带来的是我们 SPP 的心，希望心连心能够也动到你的心，能够希望你也投我们一票，把我们送进国会。
好，
谢谢各位。
Wow, he pili pala in Cantonese. During my music, Cantonese. I was going to speak in Cantonese. Then he pili pala in Mandarin. This man, Mr. Benjamin Pua. Now I look again at his CV. No wonder. Got BA Honours in Literature and Music. Master of Arts. And some more. He worked in key projects like the Singapore Suzhou Industrial Park. No wonder practice Chinese in China. So, does anyone dare to say that the non-PAP candidates are of any lesser quality?
No!
And does anyone dare say only the governing party has the right to be returned to Parliament? I can't hear.
No!
That's better. But make sure your hand will not tremble when you are alone in the election booth. When the curtains are around you and you quite better play safe. I want my swimming pool. I want my new garden. I better cross at the lightning instead of this star.
No! No way!
No?
No way!
So keep your promise to yourself, to your conscience, to Singapore. And keep your promise to your children and your grandchildren. I remind you, I'm a grandma. I have a great stake that Singapore will have a group of parliamentarians, whatever their colors, whatever their stripes, whatever animal zodiac they may have. I want them to speak for the good of all of us, not for the good of the party. So, on a very, very serious note, I want to introduce a very important man. I told you I'm a grandma. I better be married, right? No one knows me better than my husband. He's not here tonight because he's not so well. So who do you think knows Janette Arodos best? Must be James Martin Arodos. Yeah! So let's hear from him.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Before I go to the message proper, I will speak some local dialects. Chinese, some local Chinese dialect, and Malay. Đại家好。
大家好。
我嘅名是 James， 這呢是我就係太太。這呢簡單是學性，呢道嘅是打的，這句是這句。依家甲政府人鬥嘅，伊袂驚政府人。你標準是PAP嘅人，依家就政府人做工，伊驚政府人嚟話，伊袂驚，伊真驚政府人。Janette，伊無甲政府做工，伊免聽政府嚟話，伊是甲你做工，伊聽你嚟話。伊甲政府人打，你來說，你命還我。
我係事你嚟還我。
Janette 是 lawyer， 伊是做律師，27年。你是的時候，你問伊，伊甲你上好，你定係相信伊，相信 Janette。11號9月，你嘅直道一叫標考 Janette， 記得哈。11號9月。你嘅直道一叫標考 Janette， 感謝。Now in Malay. Salam sejahtera. Nama saya James dan Janette adalah isteri saya. Janette dia orangnya hati bagus, cakap terus dan berani bersuara kepada kerajaan. Dia tuan, dia orang PAP. Dia kerja untuk kerajaan. Takut kerajaan. Dia dengar suara kerajaan dan terkejut. Janette, dia tidak kerja untuk kerajaan. Dia tak takut kerajaan. Janette dengar suara kamu. Suara rakyat. Kerja untuk rakyat. Itulah kita mesti dah faham sekarang. Mengenai Town Council, Janette tahu menjaga Town Council. Sekarang PAP buat kacau di unit. Mereka berniat busuk nak bawakan nama opposition tenggelam. Janette, dia tahu menjaga Town Council. Jangan bimbang. Dia ada orang-orang expert yang boleh tolong menolong menjaga Town Council. Janette pun bekerja sebagai lawyer 27 tahun. Dia pandai. Dengan ini, dia pasti mendapatkan hak kamu dari kerajaan. Dia akan beri penghidupan kamu lebih baik, lebih bagus. Jangan bimbang. Kamu boleh percaya dan harap dengan Janette. Undilah Janette supaya menjadi suara dalam parlimen untuk kamu. Undilah Janette dari Parti Rakyat Singapura, SPP. Terima kasih.
SPP. SPP.
Now for the English message. People used to tell me that politics is a dirty business and you shouldn't get involved. The PAP have time to time implied this, and I paraphrase this for you. It goes like this. Let us handle politics. You stay out of it. It's none of your business. Just concentrate on your personal life. Leave politics to us because we know better than you. Do they really know better? Well, today I say this, and to our friends in PAP, there's nothing wrong with politics. It's the politicians that choose to make the business dirty. And that politics is for everyone, It's your business, my business, our children's business, everyone's business. Not just the PAP. My name is James Arundos, and I'm married to Janette Chong. Thank you for coming here tonight to support my wife, the contender for Mountbatten. She was here at the last GE, did well for the first time over a short 9 days of campaign. And as I speak to you tonight, I also speak to the PAP people and the Liberal Front supporters here. I'm sure they are down here, coming here to witness the showdown.
Because they are rags.
But consider this, my friends, consider this. Have an open mind. You have heard what my colleagues have said, and you will hear what Janette will say afterwards. Janette and I, we have 4 children, and 3 of them have graduated from the university. 1 of them still studying. Like any parent, I am proud of their achievements, no doubt about it. But I made it clear to them, having good education, scholarship, achievements and all that, it's great. But all this would mean nothing. It would mean nothing if there's no compassion, no connection with others. It would mean nothing if there's no concern for the less privileged. But only focus on the big money. And it becomes self-serving, leads to dissatisfaction, and blurs your vision. Look at our PAP ministers earning the big bucks. Has it blurred their vision? Yes. Are they still disconnected?
Yes. Big money,
Yeah.
Big money, but
big
never
money.
I
was told the ministers are brilliant people, and only they can manage the world stage, and only they have the answers, and that we have no impressive opposition. No one coming close to them. Really? Let me share this with you. In my 8-year stint as head of one of the largest guarding associations employing some 50,000 guards, maybe even more now, I work with key people from various government ministries. And I can tell you this right now. The answers, solutions, ideas came from the people behind these ministers. Industry leaders, associations, activists, civil service, key stakeholders. It came from these people.
You are right. Yes, you are right.
And I remember that each time the reporter asked the minister for new information so as to publish news in the State Times the next day, who do you think the minister turned to for the answers? Who? Well, clearly, the minister doesn't have all the answers, my friends. It's the team of people behind him, the public servants. In my walkabouts with Janette, over several days, maybe a couple of weeks or so, it's always a great feeling, you know, when residents come up to you, they welcome us warmly, and they cheer us on. But we know that not everyone that cheers us on will support us at the ballot box. We know that. So here, I want to urge you, you should know by now that without the increase of opposition in Parliament, and without the constant pressure on the ruling party, the citizens, that's you and I, would not have received, would not have enjoyed the outpouring benefits and incentives. Look over the past few months, over the past couple of years. They suddenly give us a lot of incentives and benefits, what have you. And ever since GE 2011, when PAP lost the GRC ward, losing 2 of its ministers, think about it. What's going on? What a damning revelation. Tonight, I'm asking for your fullest support for Janette.
Yes, good.
Janette was born in Mountbatten area and spent part of her childhood here. She got married and lived here. I've seen Janette work tirelessly to reach out to people. With sleepless nights, thinking out a solution or an idea. She has a team of young, dedicated, devoted professionals to back her. And I know, no wall is too hard for her. I've seen her diffuse tension, resolve issues, face challenging circumstances without running away, coming up with creative ideas. And I know for sure as a husband, no one can pull a wool over her eyes. She's sharp, doesn't mince her words, and she knows how to ask the right questions. Yay! She has strong family values and stands for fairness, truth, and compassion. My family, our household, my 4 children stand alongside her, with her, 100%, 200%, and I can attest to that. Look at the way she's going to talk afterwards. And I'm sure you have heard her talk before. With real conviction, she is the real deal. She is the real deal, believe me. So why choose her, my friends? Why choose her? She is the right person who will speak fearlessly for you. She dares challenge the norms and pushes the envelope. She's not easily afraid and has a never say die spirit. She will hold the government accountable. That's right. She will hold the government accountable. Yes. And for you, Mountbatten residents, what's in it for you? That's right, what's in it for you? You will not be shortchanged. Your lives enriched. Your dignity restored. You can expect nothing less from Janette, but more, I repeat, more than Lim Biao Chuan. Vote Janette. Send her into Parliament. Let her be your voice. Your tireless MP in Mountbatten and your fearless voice in the Parliament. Thank you.
It's very hard to be always truthful. But I'm sure James was. And ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Mr. and Mrs. Chong Tong. You know, when you don't feel, let's say, too strong or well, you want to stay home and rest. What brings Mr. Chiang out? What brings him to every rally that he can attend? It must be a deep belief that his group of candidates can make a great difference. SPP!欢迎30中先生夫妇。老前辈来到了。Our own war horse, yeah? With no disrespect at all to use the term old war horse. All of us will get on someday, but to soldier on, as he has, to come and give his support and lend his voice to this gathering. We salute him. Okay, we let Mr. Chang rest a while. Now let's listen to the MP, or shall I say, the person who is fighting to be in Parliament. Representing Janette.
My dear Mountbatten voters, 4 years ago, in the 2011 general elections, I stood before you as a candidate of Mountbatten SMC. Perhaps some of you did not know me then, but do you know me now? Yeah! Over the last 4 years, I have not stopped walking the ground in Mountbatten. My desire today to serve you has only deepened and grown more intense and more urgent. Now, before MPs were paid the huge paychecks that they now draw, there was a man who held public office for 3 decades, serving Singaporeans with a passionate heart. His name is Chong. Mr. Chong is an inspiration to me and to all of us. For 23 years, Mr. Chong ran the Potong Pasir Town Council successfully and without a hitch. The Singapore People's Party has a track record of relying more on its resourcefulness than on its resources. Under Mr. Chong's capable hands, the accounts of Potong Pasir Town Council were always clean and always in surplus. This is solid proof of his efficient and effective stewardship of town council funds. Recently, the PAP government has made it their national agenda to cast doubts on the ability of opposition parties to run a town council successfully. As far as SPP is concerned, that is a myth. With the SPP's backing, my team and I are more than confident of running Mountbatten Town Council. This will be my first call of duty and the first order of my business. But the role of an MP goes beyond competent estate management. Being an MP is one of the highest, if not the highest, calling in public service. Parliament decides on laws and policies which affect us all. And given that the PAP has an overwhelming majority in Parliament, it's important that decisions are properly debated and well considered before they are implemented. Now, the PAP government says that all is well, the machinery is humming, and the future in their hands is bright. But is it really so? No! As you and I know, there are widening gaps in our society, which, if left unchecked, will affect our future and our children's future. There's a widening gap between the haves and the have-nots in our society. And not enough is being done to arrest income inequality. There is a gap between the aspirations of Singaporeans and the reality of poor social mobility. And not enough is being done to address the rising cost of living. There are gaps between the good intentions behind government policies and the reality of people falling between the cracks. But these are symptoms of a deeper problem. There is a gap between the accountability we are given and the transparency we deserve.
Yes, good.
Mr. Goh Chong Tong recently said, the PAP is its own check. Is that possible?
No! Big liar!
It is a very dangerous idea and a very undemocratic one. The government talks about fiscal responsibility, but just 2 months ago, the Auditor General released a report showing troubling lapses across several government ministries and agencies. The most disturbing concerns the People's Association. 35 of their committees were found to have approved tenancy contracts worth some $17.78 million without proper approval. The People's Association is an organ heavily funded by taxpayers' money. How much? 1 billion Singapore dollars this year. Friends, whose money is it? Who is going to call on the government to assure us that the financial lapses are not endemic? Who is going to remind the government of its duty to ensure that taxpayers' money is responsibly and wisely spent? When the Auditor General's report came out, what did the PAP minister say?
Nothing.
The PAP MPs are mice when talking about the accounting lapses flagged by the Auditor General, but they crow like roosters at the shortcomings of the Aljunied Town Council.
Wayang-wayang
When our brothers and sisters from the Workers' Party were being bullied by the PAP, it was Mrs. Lina Chiang who drew the nation's attention to the failings of our government ministries and agencies by raising questions in Parliament about the way taxpayers' money was being used. What will we do without Mrs. Chiang? Do you want Parliament to be a rubber stamp? No! We cannot afford to let Parliament write the government blank checks. This is irresponsible. We need to close the gap between what our government is delivering and what we deserve. We need to close the gap between what the government promises and what it delivers by holding it accountable and keeping it transparent. The PAP has an overwhelming majority in Parliament. So, do we need another person to vote yes to the PAP's policies?
No!
Do we need another PAP backbencher in Parliament to vote for 6.9 million white paper?
No!
Do we need another PAP backbencher to okay public transport fare hikes?
No!
Do we need another PAP backbencher in Parliament to attack the Aljunied MPs?
No!
No matter how much he wants to, my opponent cannot always speak for you because he has to toe the party line. Look around you. Look around the constituency. You will see Mr. Lee Hsien Loong's face everywhere.
Yes, the face like a monkey face. Not fair.
Regardless of how good Mr. Lim's intentions are, who does he answer to? He answers happens to Mr. Lee Hsien Loong. But I can speak out for you. You can count on me to support policies that are good for the people and to challenge policies that do not work for Singaporeans. Mr. Lim takes pride in pointing out how he has made physical improvements to the constituency. Mr. Lim really shouldn't make a virtue out of necessity. It is his job to ensure the constituency is maintained. An MP has to do more, much more than maintenance, upgrading and providing covered walkways. There is a gap between what your MP is doing and what your MP should be doing. There is a gap between the progress we aspire to and the livability of our homes. I want to make Mountbatten a home for the heart and not just a place to stay. Mr. Lim thinks that the government has the solutions to all our community's problems. On the contrary, I believe that the community is the solution and that residents have to be in the driver's seat. Take Dakota Crescent as an example. Mr. Lim told the media those who like the heritage mostly don't live here. Well, what I hear from residents is quite different. Mountbatten residents have told me they care about Dakota Crescent and they don't want it to disappear.
Yes.
Clearly, Mr. Lim hasn't been talking to the residents of Mountbatten. Dakota Crescent is a piece of our local heritage that Mountbatten is right to be proud of. Mr. Lim also told the media that the fate of Dakota Crescent is to be decided by conservation experts and the state. I beg to differ. It is you, the residents, who should have the first say and be consulted as to what should be done about the local heritage. You, the residents of Mountbatten, should play a role in deciding the fate of Dakota Crescent. In front of you, you can see the fruits of a collaboration my campaign has done with local artists who have sketched and photographed Dakota Crescent. This is a concrete expression of what community spirit means. It means that those with the greatest stake in the community's future take charge of the community's development. I will run the constituency the way I've run my campaign. Energetically, enthusiastically, creatively, and tirelessly. My opponent has done a decent job tending to the hardware of the constituency. But the role of an MP isn't just to be a glorified estate manager. The real value of an MP is to lead, to bond, to inspire, and to fight for the residents of the constituency. And I am up for the task. Let me close the gap between the old mindsets we're stuck in and the community we want to build. Singapore is an exceptional country because of strong first-generation leaders, leaders who were visionaries. Can you imagine what Mountbatten could be like if your leader is more than just an estate manager? And so I ask this of you. If you would give me the honor, I will not just manage Mountbatten. I will inspire and lead you to a reimagined Mountbatten. Now, I've spoken of the various gaps I want to close, but there's one last gap to be closed which I can't do without your help.
Yes. Yes.
In GE2011, I polled 41.4% against Lim Biao Chun. There's just this gap to be closed in order for me to enter Parliament. I ask that you help me close the gap to cross the 50% mark. Let me speak up for you, because my opponents sometimes cannot speak for fear of the party whip. Let me stand up for you, to fight for your rights, because our leaders sometimes do not hear our voices. Mountbatten voters, come polling day, vote for me. I will be your tireless MP in Mountbatten and your fearless fighter in Parliament! I am so glad I'm not her opponent. I'll be flat on the floor in no time. Now, you see on stage history that had been made with Mr. and Mrs. Chang here and Mrs. Linia Chang, one of the NCMPs who dared to ask questions. Even though the NCMP scheme isn't the most meaningful scheme. So, Mrs. Linia Chang, please.
Let's go!
Thank you very much for all your comments. It's very complimentary. My fellow Singaporeans, thank you for joining us this Sunday evening here at Mountbatten SMC Rally. Our candidate, Janette, is here to give you a strong alternative to the PAP. Yeah! The Singapore People's Party has been committed to speak up for the citizens of Singapore. Yeah! Over the past few years, we have kept the government in check on many issues such as CPF, overpopulation, housing, rising medical costs, MDA licensing framework, and the AG report.
You also scared. Your mind also scared. Too fierce. Too fierce. Even the bank is scared of you.
Yes, because I was about to say the AG report on accounting lapses of the PA and the statutory boards.
Yeah, good.
Right. Janette will do the same for you if you elect her to represent your voice in Parliament.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Woo.
She will be another tigress in Parliament if elected.
More tiger.
The Singapore People's Party also has a strong record of running the Potong Pasir Town Council well for 25 years.
Very good.
We have the track record to ensure that Janette will run the Mountbatten ward well if you elect her as an MP. I know Janette. I work alongside with Janette. I can almost say that she is my sister. And we are both Hakka women. Do you know what Hakka women is? Yeah, As you know, Mr. Lee Kuan Yew loves Hakka women, I think. As well as on this journey in opposition politics, both of us are on this journey in opposition politics.
Yes, good.
We dare to oppose when it's necessary for the good of the people of Singapore. I know Janette has a burning desire to serve the people. She has a desire to bring about the change that Singapore needs and that the people of Singapore seek. As Janette has said, she will close the gap on what the government promises and what it delivers. She has pledged to put the interest of residents before the party and herself. Janette will close the gap on accountability. She will make sure that all public bodies will be held accountable to taxpayers. The PAP has been in power for more than 50 years. They have transformed Singapore economically, but it is unwise, very unwise, to assume the same strategy and the same party that can help sustain Singapore's developments and future. The PAP is trying to transform itself, but change is not easy. Within such an old and massive machinery, we cannot depend on the PAP to change itself. I know how people work, and Mr. Chong and I had a chance to serve in politics over the last 40-odd years. If the PAP wants the public to contribute to a certain policy, it is harder for them to hear the ground. They are surrounded by what? Yes men. People who tell the leaders what the leaders want to hear. The ground is sweet. And that's what they will hear. Otherwise, how is it that they can continue to insist on sustainable population growth? Otherwise, how is it that they can continue to allow companies in Singapore to use low-skilled, low-wage foreign labor? Otherwise, how is it possible that they can allow foreign labor to displace Singaporeans? Our members in the SPP comprise research fellows from top organizations and specialists in policies for Singapore. If you read our work during the last 5 years, we make deep analysis of existing policies and we ask critical questions. I will give you an example. Regarding foreign workers, I understand the plight of SMEs. They want to employ foreign workers and they hope for cheaper labor. Everything is getting more expensive in Singapore. Do you agree? Yes! When given grants, SME choose to use the grants for low-hanging fruits, such as laptops, simple systems, instead of taking the risk to leapfrog their competitors. The government is interested in fulfilling their own targets. They say, well, I have disbursed X million dollars of grants, so it is not my fault. You don't have productivity growth. It's not my fault if you don't have productivity growth. Is it a Singaporean's fault? No! Here is what I have to say. Yes, invest in productivity, but I also propose working closely with applicants of schemes. Regarding foreign labor, we understand their role in our workforce, and I'm afraid that the PAP can sometimes conveniently forget that the foreign workforce just the buffer in economic recession, you and I have to stay behind. But they can flee to another country. So if the PAP is always unable to hear the truth from the ground, they need to hear the truth from Parliament. That is why it is important to send the best opposition candidates to Parliament. They must have an impeccably clean background. Always be honest and upfront with the people and also with the government. Transparency. They must persevere. Perseverance is a simple word, but it can be one of the hardest elements to develop in anyone. So many candidates quit after losing one election. I think you know who. The candidate must also understand the people he or she seeks to represent. Janette is a successful lawyer, a great mother with 3 sons and 1 daughter. We are all very envious of her for producing so many children. And a young woman on top of that, with a loving husband, a loving wife. She has preserved, convincing Mountbatten voters of her sincerity for years. When she walked with me around Mountbatten, she showed intimate knowledge of this place, and she has also developed a set of goals for you and your town. Don't leave your future in the hands of the PAP. Vote for the Singapore People's Party! Vote for Janette for Mountbatten! Vote for Ravi Philemon for Hong Kong North SMC! Vote for Mrs. Dina Chia for Potong Pasir Vote for Brian Long, Law Kim Hui, Abdillah, Ben Pui, and Hamid for Bishan Toa Payoh CRC. Vote for your right to move into the future of Singapore together. Thank you for your support. Good night and God bless.
Thank you, Mrs. Chair. I never knew how she speaks. I'm thoroughly impressed by how she has spoken. Have you? Yeah! We thank her. And now, Mr. Chong like to share a few words with us.
Just bring the mic. Don't say no! Don't say no! Don't say no! Okay, Mr. Chapter! Steady! Settle! Powerful in Potong Pasir!
Dear residents of Mountbatten.
Yeah! You are my best SMP! You are my grandfather! You are my grandfather! You are my best MP!
I just want to thank all the residents of Mountbatten.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
And for all of you who taken trouble to come and attend our rally. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you for staying that so patiently to listen to all our speakers. Especially our candidate, Mrs. Janette, Chong.
Yes, I will stop. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. In case you didn't catch it, we thank all of you for being here and for being so patient in listening to all the speakers. I think Mr. Chun epitomized what we can do when our heart is in the right place.
Yes!
So, may all of you, all of us, whichever constituency we are in, SMCs or GRCs, remember, do right by Singapore, do right for the next generations after us.
Yes! Thank you very much.
Thank you to all the speakers.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for coming here.
Yes, thank you.
Do enjoy the posters on that side of the field.
Yes, thank you very much.
And if you like to buy this book that Benjamin mentioned earlier on, it's available at the back of the field. And you can get autographs too. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Yes! Bottom, press SPP! Press SPP, okay? Bottom! Thank you, Mr. Choo! Everybody clap!
I'm told that there are also badges and t-shirts available, and somebody has dropped an ERP card. If you do not want to walk home, please come and claim it. Donation? Thank you very much. It's a Deloitte card with Nets Flash Pay. Adult. That's a spaceship. It's a very special card. Someone who works with Deloitte. Another lost and found. Wow.
Wait, stay tuned for more for interviews.
It's a
So they won't go.
it's a phone charger. The young people
This
tell
is
me. I
Darius
don't
signing in for
recognize
Happy
what it
TV.
is.
So what you have seen
A
right
black
now
phone
is a
charger.
series of speeches by various members of that are contesting under the SPP banner for this year's general election. So do stay tuned with us.
Triennium.
We have some interviews
The brand
with
behind says
people on the
Triennium.
ground to find out their opinions on this general
Then come to
election.
the side of the stage to claim your belongings. Please check your belongings. Leave with them. Live with your heart and live with your guts to vote correctly. Thank you.
Janette. Thank you. Mr. Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen. Sitong, Kota Pasir. Okay, I will support you forever. Okay, okay, sweet.
Chong, can you sign my book?
Yes, Uncle Chong, take care of yourself, huh?
Mr. Chong,
Yeah, but there's so many books right here to be doing.
Hey, is this you, man? I'd love to contact your friends.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chong. Thank you. Can you just finish the line there?
Yeah, sure. Okay,
有4人啊，繼續俾佢哋聽。其他啲警車友。
Chong, I salute you. You are a good fighter. So many years. Chong. We'll come back to you. Remember to follow your best model. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. You have to wait. Mr. Chong, can I take a photo with you? Sure. Thank you. Thank you, sir. That's right. Mr. Chong, God bless you.
God bless you. God bless. Thank you, sir.
Okay, go to one side and then side.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Oh yeah, to sign the book. Okay.
Hi, how are you?
The yellow tag is in blue. Yep. This is
How are they going to do the book signing?
You see the candidates first. Okay, I'll let you know. You walk in, yeah, it's okay with you. Yeah. Okay. It's good. Oh. Only the one I think is good. Yeah, you're talking there. Yeah.
I think we're going to go out if we can start moving out. You want to... you keep it?
Yeah, can. No, I need to... No, I just... Okay. Just take the mic. Okay.
Yeah. So right now, what's going to happen is that Mr. Cham Si Tong will be outside signing the books for his supporters later. So meanwhile, let's just get out of the media pit and try to get some interviews on the ground. Yep. Your flashlight, I think is it dark?
No, tick from the back. This side.
Yeah, go ahead.
Tick this side.
This side. Yeah, let's do this. Hi, we are from Happy TV, which is online media. Can we ask you some questions? Just a couple of questions.
Don't do this.
It's just online, so it will not be on TV. Can I ask you, is it your first time to a SPP rally?
Yes.
Okay, and are you all living in any of the constituencies that's contested by SPP this time round?
No.
So what made you all come for the rally?
I just wanted to hear all the opposition, how they have done so far. Then I'll give an honest opinion. Today SPP's their rally was quite well run compared to SDP. SDP yesterday I thought wasn't that good. Their MC wasn't that good. Today's MC was very good. She was very good today. Other than that, all the candidates I felt that spoke quite well. It's quite true that they didn't really put down most of them didn't really put down PAP candidates. So yeah, not bad.
Yeah, today's rally was pretty good. I chose to attend today's rally is because I'm around the Mountbatten area very often. I do a lot of sports around this area. So, and I also like to hang out Dakota. I like to go cafe hopping. And actually today's rally, a lot of them were very well spoken. They spoke really good English, which I didn't really hear at a lot of other rallies. Yeah, so
which is So which is out of all the speeches today, which one was the one that struck you the most?
Like all of them, because they are like from different types of people from different walks of life. Like we have a doctor, we have like a lawyer, we have the MP, like future MP herself, potential MP herself, like a lot of different types of. We didn't just hear from one type of person.
So what do you think about the proposals that they came out with? For example, the candidate for Mountbatten SMC, Miss Janette Chong Arudos, wanted to preserve Dakota Crescent and work with the architects and the artists over here to preserve the heritage of Dakota Crescent. Do you have any views about that?
It's really good that she wants to preserve Dakota Crescent because all these houses one day they will get lesser and lesser. It's like one of the vanishing landmarks of Singapore. So it's good that we preserve it for the future generations to see. Doesn't mean it's old, it has to be torn down. It can be preserved. We can find modern uses for the buildings. Like the Taiwan incident where the guy, he painted like colourful murals over an old town, and now it's like a major tourist attraction. So this goes to show that indeed preserving landmarks, right, it can do a lot of do good for the local community as well as international tourists.
So do you think we also have, generally speaking, we have a credible opposition right now in Singapore as compared to maybe 4 years ago for the general election 2011? Any views?
More candidates are credible, but still so far I feel that only WP and tonight SPP has showed me that the candidates can speak. Reform Party yesterday also disappointed me. The guy tried to speak Hokkien or something, and then he didn't. It's not his. Can tell that it's not his native language At least today you see Benjamin Pua, he himself admit that I'm not good in Hokkien, I'm not good in Teochew, so I'll just speak in Guangdong. I don't understand Guangdong Hua, but if you don't know how to speak, say so. Don't do that. Do what Reform Party did yesterday, and that wasn't the only thing they did yesterday. They were shouting into the mic, not quite terrible yesterday. Today, compared to SPP, they were terrible.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Thank you. Now let's try to find a couple of others. Hi, we are from Happy TV, which is the online media channel. Can we ask you a few questions? No? Okay. Come, let's go. It's really about picking and choosing. Maybe that couple. Hi, we are from Happy TV, which is the online media channel. Can we ask you a few questions about the... Okay. Sure, thank you. Oh.
Wrong way back.
Let's ask the guy over there. Hi, we are from Happy TV. Can we ask you a couple of questions? No, okay. Sure. Hi, we're from Happy TV. Can we ask you a few questions about... Oh, okay. It's okay. Thanks. Looks like luck is running out on our side tonight. Let's try to find a few more. Let's try. Hi, we are from Happy TV, it's the online media channel. Can we ask you a few questions about the rally just now?
No, thank
No,
you.
it's-
Came rally. We came very late.
So which part of the rally were you? What time did you join the rally just now?
Towards the end, after 9.
Okay, so you heard Miss Janette Chong Arudo speaking, the candidate for this SMC.
No, I think we better not to.
Okay, sure, thank you. Let's try to go back to the track and see. Yeah, let's try. Yeah. Hi, we are from Happy TV, we're an online media channel. Can we ask you a few questions? Okay, sure, thanks. Really running out of time. Let's try again. Hi, sorry, we're from Happy TV. Can I ask you a few questions? No, okay. Uncle, please. Hi, excuse me, we are Happy from Happy TV, it's the online media channel. Can I ask you a few questions?
No,
Just about the rally. No, there's nothing to
Can you sign for me?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Next to your wife. Next to your wife.
Oh, okay.
Borrow a pen from you, can?
Okay.
Just next to her.
So we are from Happy TV, which is an online media channel. So we do live streaming. Dream Forest Productions. Dream Forest Productions. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Actually, we're supposed to interview more of the Uncle, can we speak to you for a few seconds? Well, just a couple minutes.
From where?
From Happy TV, which is online, independent online media channel. So it's not one of the. No, we are not part of the mainstream.
I always like Facebook. I don't want you all to write. Not say I hate myself.
Sure.
I always write one. So I don't want you all misinterpret me.
Oh no, this is live streaming, so we actually we will not be reported. Okay. Wow, we're really running out of luck tonight. Yep. Let's try that, Uncle. Hi, Uncle. We are from Happy TV. Can we talk to you about a few questions about the rally? Huh?
I just come.
Oh, you just came. Okay. Okay. So anyway, I think luck is kind of running out on us tonight here at the sports field bounded by Stadium Drive and Stadium Boulevard. As you can see, the crowd is actually slowly dispersing, and today we are really running out of luck to be interviewing a couple of attendees for the rally. So just to sum up tonight's rally, we saw a number of candidates spoke today. They are namely Brian Long, Abdillah Zamzuri, Ravi Philemon, medical doctor Ting Chun Ming, lawyer Choo Si, Benjamin Pua, Janette Chong Arudos, the candidate for Mountbatten SMC, as well as her husband James Martin Arudos, and last but not least, Miss Lina Chiam, as well as Mr. Cham Si Tong. So the whole SPP has fielded a total of 8 candidates for this general elections, and for this rally tonight, most of the candidates spoke on Miss Janette Chong's qualities on being a potential candidate for MP for the Mountbatten SMC. So in the next few days, we will be expecting SPP to have a couple of other rallies for the remaining of their constituencies in other parts of Singapore. So do stay tuned with us, as we will be streaming live all the rallies for the next couple of nights till Wednesday. And this is Darius signing off from Happy TV for one last time. Thank you for staying with us. Good night.